Hello, third grade. Today is Monday, May 11th. I am Miss Troutman, and I'm going to do math with you again this week. So quickly, let's go over our schedule for the week. Today is Monday, and today we will be measuring using units of a ton, an ounce, and a pound. So we're going to be measuring weight today. And then Tuesday, we will be doing adding and subtracting again. Wednesday, we're going to measure capacity with cup, pint, quart, and gallon. Those words might sound familiar if you buy liquids like milk in the grocery store or if you've baked before. On Thursday, we're going to be doing word problems again. And Friday, we're going to have a short assessment of what you've learned with measurements. So not only with weight, but with length, like what we did last week with inches and yards and miles. And with weight, what we're going to do this week. So, like I said, today is Monday, so I'm going to bring us over here and we are going to start with weight. So, we can use ounce, pound, and tons as unit of measurement for weight. We can read scales in ounces and pounds. We can estimate and find actual weights of objects by using different scales. So let's go over some vocabulary. An ounce, the abbreviation for that is OZ, and an ounce is a customary unit for measuring weight of light objects. So you would use ounces to measure something like a strawberry. You could also use ounces to measure something like a pencil or something really light. A pound is a customary unit for measuring weight of heavy objects, and a pound is abbreviated with LB. So you use something heavier than ounces to when you measure with pounds. So if I had my dog would be too heavy for ounces, so I would weigh him in pounds. And a ton, abbreviated with T, is a customary unit for measuring weight of very heavy objects. So using ounces to measure weight, this is a scale that measures light objects in ounces. This scale has these lines. It starts at 0 here because there's nothing on it. So right now the weight is 0. This first red line right here is a half. So it's a half of 1 ounce. And this next longer red line is 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You notice every other number isn't marked on here, but the longer line is that whole number. What is the weight of 1 slice of bread? So let's look at this scale. We have a piece of bread here, and we're going to look at where this red mark points us to. So it's not at the 0, it's not at the half. To me, it looks like it's right at this 1 ounce mark. So 1 piece of bread is about 1 ounce. And I actually found a scale in my house. Mine's a little different. Mine doesn't have the numbers like this one. Mine has digital numbers. So mine is a digital scale. Oh, what is it telling me? There we go. So it tells me the numbers right away. It's trying to figure out what I'm doing because I keep moving it around. So if you have a scale in your house, you might want to pull it out and measure some things, see how heavy they are. We'll see. I would love to hear what you measure if you find a scale at home. And you can tell me on Seesaw or send me an email or something. So measuring to the nearest ounce, we're going to talk about this balance here. So we know that these are the same weight because neither side of this is down more than the other. If one side was down more, then that side would be heavier. But because they're equal, it's straight across, we know that these are equal weights. So this says use the balance to find the weight of an apple. How many slices of bread are on the scale? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 slices of bread. So if 1 slice of bread is about 1 ounce, what does that tell you about the weight of the apple? Can you find the weight of an apple knowing the weight of the bread? Let's think about it. These are equal weights, remember, and 1 piece of bread is 1 ounce. So this is 1 ounce. Here's 2 ounces, 3 ounces, 4 ounces. So if all these pieces of bread together are 4 ounces, how many ounces is the apple? It is 4 ounces. Good job. And I actually have something that I wanted to weigh with you. I have this squishy ball. It's nice to use and throw around. It's kind of big, and I want to know how much it weighs. And I think I'm going to measure it in ounces because it's not super heavy. It's not like a pound, I don't think. So I'm going to weigh it on my scale. I'm going to have to move my camera so you can see my scale down here. And I'm going to set it right on my scale. And then these numbers here tell me that it is 10.2 ounces. So my squishy ball is about 10 ounces. Very cool. Now we're going to be talking about pounds. So this scale looks a lot like the one we just used for ounces. The only difference is that it is in pounds. So this 1 here isn't 1 ounce, it's 1 pound. Same with the 2 pounds, 3 pounds, 4 pounds, 5 pounds, and so on. So this says the pound is another unit of measure for weight. It is used to measure heavy objects. The abbreviation for pounds is lb. Ooh, about how much does this loaf of bread weigh? Let's see, the red line here lines up almost exactly with 1 pound. So 1 loaf of bread is 1 pound. And here's a little conversion for us with our balances. So here's 1 pound of maybe butter, and that is equal to this loaf of bread because they're equally distributed here. And then down here we have all these little ounces. How many ounces is in there, do you think? There's 16 because it's equal. And over here it says 1 pound equals 16 ounces. So I know that there's 16 in there without even counting them. And here this is equal. We know that 1 loaf of bread is about 1 pound. So this is probably 16 pieces of bread because on the last one we learned that 1 piece of bread is about 1 ounce. So weighing objects to the nearest pound, let's look at the bananas. So it's not at 0, it's not at 1, it's pretty close to the 2, and here's the 3. So is it closer to the 2 or to the 3? It's closer to the 2. So because it is closer to the 2, I'm going to say that these bananas are about 2 pounds. And remember, when we're saying about, we're not saying it's exactly 2 pounds, we're saying it's close to 2 pounds. So whenever we say about or estimate, we're saying that it's close to this. It's not exactly 2 pounds. Now we have some seafood down here, some shrimp and crabs. Let's see, this one's heavier. Here's the 12, it's not at 12, 13 and 14. This one's kind of right in the middle of 13 and 14. So I'm going to say that this one is 13.5 pounds. And I actually have something else I would like to measure that's a lot heavier than my squish ball. I want to see how much this plant weighs. So I'm going to move you down to my scale again here, and I'm going to set this. My scale measures ounces and pounds. And I don't know if you can see it, but it says 4 pounds and 2.8 ounces. So my plant is about 4 pounds. So if you do have a scale at home, measure things, see what you can find that measures in pounds and that measures in ounces. Let's see, estimating weight in tons. So this picture says a car weighs about 1 ton. And the ton, remember, is a unit of measure for very heavy objects such as a car. So if a car is about 1 ton, just 1 ton, a ton is a lot, right? A ton is pretty heavy because cars are very heavy. So we're going to think about what objects and animals are too heavy to be measured in pounds and ounces. So a car, we know. See if you can think of anything else that you think would be too heavy to measure in pounds and ounces. I know that my house would be too heavy for pounds and ounces, so I would measure my house in tons. So because these objects are too heavy to be weighed on an ordinary weighing scale, it's too hard to put a car on a scale, right? That wouldn't fit, it's too big. It is too difficult to measure their exact weight. So we use estimation for these objects. So this car, like it says here, a car weighs about 1 ton. That doesn't mean exactly 1 ton. That means it's about, because it's too heavy to know for sure. I wonder if you can think of other things that might weigh a ton. And I know some of you have dogs or cats. I have a dog too, a smaller dog. Do you think you would weigh your dogs, your pets, in pounds, in ounces, or in tons? You would weigh dogs and cats in pounds. Tons are very, very large, and even if you had a big dog, it wouldn't weigh 1 ton. That would be really, really heavy. Okay, that is my whole PowerPoint for you. So remember, on our calendar, there's always a student workbook page if you'd like to look at those, and then our practice pages that will also be on Seesaw. So for today, our practice pages look like this. You're going to be looking at some balances and thinking, if 1 loaf of bread is about 1 pound, how much do these tomatoes weigh? Remember, when they're even like this, they weigh the same. And then do the same with this. These 2 questions, you're going to choose the unit that you would use to measure with. So would you measure this truck in ounces, pounds, or tons? And this is a package of butter. Would you measure that in ounces, pounds, or tons? And write that here. And then down here, you're making a guess. Decide which animals weigh more than 1 ton and which weigh less than 1 ton. Check your answers using the internet and an encyclopedia. So you're going to look at all these animals and think about, is this animal really heavy? Would it need to be weighed in tons? Or is it light enough that it could be weighed in pounds? And I might have given you the answer to 1 down here. So you can write those down here and then check your answers. And if you think of any others that you want to add, I would love to see some comments or some add-ons into this box of other animals you come up with. So that is all for today, 3rd graders. And remember that tomorrow you'll be doing adding and subtracting again. And I will see you again for another lesson on Wednesday. I hope you have a great day. Bye, 3rd grade.